Testing, testing.
Okay.
3 months ago, I watched a video from Matt D'Avella where he tracked every minute of his life for 3 months. And it was also around this time that I started having a mindset change where I wanted to be able to pursue my personal side hobbies and interests whilst maintaining the standards that I wanted to within school. Being able to balance your schoolwork as well as your extracurricular hobbies normally shouldn't be that big of a deal. But within medicine, especially at HKU, I think there is often this unspoken consensus where you're supposed to devote every single minute that you have working and grinding schoolwork if you want to have somewhat comparable results. For the first half of my 4th year, I believed that as well. But around the time of February, after having been grinding for a few months, I thought to myself, I wouldn't want to look back at my 4th year in the future and only be able to remember that all I did was study. So as you can see from my older video, I decided to use Notion as an activity tracker for me to track every minute of my life from the 3rd of March to the 9th of June. In this tracker, I had preset a bunch of different activities that I wanted to track, putting them into categories. And really my objective with this is to see if I'm able to commit to other personal hobbies that require persistence and time, whilst at the same time maintaining the standards that I wanted to within medicine. These interests and hobbies included learning to code, learning to speed type, practicing my handwriting, as well as reading more regularly. There were also other activities that I recorded that were more routine, such as sleep, attending school, revising by myself, or even just commuting. I even tracked all the meals I had, but I only tracked the times when I was eating alone as my meal time, whereas any meal that I was having with my friends or my family, I recorded it as friends and family. This mainly consisted of spending time and eating with Nicole. So how did I do? For the first month and a half, I was pretty consistent with keeping up with the coding and all the other activities that I wanted to do. But as exams came closer, and they were on the 9th of June, I started to see myself slipping away from those activities because I was spending more time studying. However, the upside is that even though I wasn't spending as much time coding or practicing my handwriting, I was still able to force myself to carve out time to spend on YouTube, which I had committed to trying to make 1 video per week. And this often takes up 6 to 9 hours a week for just a video. And because I put YouTube as my first priority, unfortunately these other hobbies or things that I wanted to work on had to be put aside for a bit. So by the end of 3 months, I had spent around 80 hours on the 4 different types of side hobbies and that I wanted to work on. I had spent 543 hours in attending classes as well as revising on my own. 273 hours spent with my friends or family, which is mainly Nicole, and another 63 hours spent on making YouTube videos. Considering that before I started this challenge, I was spending almost every minute that I was awake actually working and studying school stuff. Having spent these 143 hours of my last 3 months doing things that I actually wanted to do was actually a very good effort. And I can say that I'm quite satisfied with that. Although I still ended up spending way more time on school stuff rather than pursuing things that I wanted to do, I think this is a much healthier step towards a sort of lifestyle, a routine that I want to be able to build. And it's already a huge improvement from where I was at baseline. And at the same time, whilst doing all of this, I've been able to average around 8.2 hours of sleep per night, which I think is a lot more generous than what a lot of my other peers give themselves. But I must say, when it came to the week of the exams, I ended up sleeping a lot less, even though I was in bed because of the stress. Looking back at my first 4 years of medicine, I realized the moments that I look back most fondly at are the ones that I did things that I didn't expect myself to do, and that was stuff that just wasn't related to medicine. And I'm sure many would argue that the things that I do are quite silly and pointless, and in fact probably don't much bearing on the career that I am about to embark on. And it's difficult for me to put into words, but I sort of believe that doing things that other people don't, be it by trial and error, is what is going to help me be able to differentiate myself from the rest when it matters. To me, doing what everyone else does is just following the majority, and being in the majority, when rephrased, is the same as being average, and that is not something I want to be. I think in order for me to be able to live a more fulfilling, exciting, and even happier life, I have to try and explore things that may not always give me immediate result or materialistic rewards. But I hope that by being able to try and keep pursuing these things in the future, that I am increasing my chances of chancing upon opportunities where I would otherwise have missed. And I think it is completely up to myself to be able to make decisions and try things that others don't, in order for me to be able to carve out my own path and find what it is that I want to do and how I want to do things. So this is a bit of a ramble. I don't exactly have a very clear point of this video other than sharing the results of this thing that I did. But I hope others who watch this video will start to turn towards things that they've always wanted to do and try. Never just let things go past them just because they were too focused on work that others tell them is the most important, such as school in my case. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.